We have one more variant of the C8 to go, the Zora, the 25 ZR1 obviously just released, and the total of the C8 run being 5 years so far, but already we're looking at another generation Corvette, the 9th one that will probably put an end to everything you expected. And in this video, we're going to dive real deep and discuss everything about the C9 Corvette, what it could actually feature, and probably what you fail to notice every single time about it. Let's get right into it. So, I want to start off with something very interesting. You see, the rendering you're seeing on the screen right now was made some time ago by GM lead creative designer Gary Ruiz, whom, as it were, has been with them for 20 years now. These particular renderings he posted on Instagram, though with zero to little other giveaway info linking or relating it to the Corvette. But really, take a look at these images and tell me what other car it could be. Definitely a Corvette. And from the looks, one that could be inadvertently hinting at the C9 Gen. Now, what we want to do is closely study these renderings to see major takeaways. If you look at the rear, you definitely see a bit of the C7 generation Corvette in it, not really subtle, so you can feel the vibes from it, take you back to the old days a bit. That's a different approach to the design first of all, and I wonder whether it actually get tweaks later on when we're closer to seeing the car actually come. Looking closer as well, we notice the boomerang on the rear quarter panel, which is a massive giveaway of the Stingray floating in there, as does the indentation we see on the front door. So clearly, there's a C7 in there, a C8 as well. What else could there be? Now this is the part that gets interesting and probably where some of you failed to notice. Take a good look at the doors from the rendering. Good. Do you see a line on the front of it? And when I mean line, I mean where it allows for door opening, normal car door opening, exactly like that. Now do you see them in this image? You'll agree with me, it's definitely not there. But what could that mean? Take a guess. If you thought of this, that's the only logical explanation for that, so yes, you're right. The entire front panel could lift up to allow for entry and exit, kind of like what we saw on the C4, but a little bit of an expanded version of it. So evidently, the big question, could this be so, or is it just another artistic license entry? Man, really, that would be a crazy move by Chevy for the C9, and of course, that's what everyone anticipates. Something wild and out of box for the Vette, not bad. But what else do we notice about this car? Here's gold. From what we can make out from the render, the C9 apparently will still feature an internal combustion engine, also known as the ICE, or ICE, however you want to call it. Obviously, this is good news for hardcore fans who aren't exactly warming up good to the current EV rampage. How do we know this? Well, you only have to look close enough to tell. First of all, we see the quad exhaust pipes, which pretty much explains itself. No fully electric vehicle will have an exhaust pipe because there is really no need, because there won't be any exhaust fumes to emit since everything is powered by an electric motor. However, some hybrids do feature quad exhaust pipes, like the Porsche Cayenne or the Toyota Alphard hybrid, so it is difficult to know for certain which engine layout GM finally settles with in the C9, but if we're considering the direction they'll take with the Zora coming with an electric powertrain, it's more likely the hybrid version will be the case. But there's more. So to get into it, first I will need you to please show your support of this video by liking it. Plus, if you think getting clear and timely updates like this is not bad for you, do subscribe as well. Thank you for doing that. Moving on, the C9 Corvette is believed to be underpinned by the same platform as that which the C8 is based, which is codenamed Y2, just a little revised. Now, this platform isn't compatible with full electrification. In fact, the most it's capable of housing is the plug-in hybrid system, just like we had come in the E-Ray, further solidifying the fact we're going to see the ICE in the C9 Corvette. But how realistic is this? I mean, you'll probably remember that back in August 2022, the California Air Resources Board did announce that it would ban new ICE cars by 2035 in favor of EVs and plug-in hybrids. Well, if that's the case, and just as the info on ground has it, the C9 comes in 2028 for the 2029 model year, then that would mean 3 more years for the C8 to total at an 8 years production run. Now, if that happens too, then 2029 to 2035 is exactly 6 years, which is actually decent for a C9 run if it should continue all the while without full electrification before it should get discontinued in 2035. So, pretty realistic if Chevy decides to go that route, but really it seems everyone had subconsciously settled with the thought that by the C9 generation Corvette, we won't be talking ICE anymore, but why? There are actually 2 possible reasons. First, going back to a while before the Stingray was released, we'd heard the rumor mill report of hybrid assistance in at least one variant of the C8, which wasn't a pretty bad speculation, seeing that it did come in the E-Ray. But before the E-Ray, this news had already transcended to GM making an all-electric Corvette. And that's pretty much it from the social side of things. However, the second reason stems from the platform the all-electric sedan and SUV will boast, while as well flaunting the Corvette badge. So both cars are not believed to be coming with the Y2 platform from the C8, but rather the BEV Prime architecture, which is really just an evolution of the BEV3 that's currently being used in the Cadillac Lyriq and Chevrolet Blazer EV, but nonetheless a more premium sibling of the latter. What this means is simple. No Y2 platform was expected for the coming e-sedan and SUV, but rather a platform that will be perfectly capable of handling all-electric vehicles, that is the BEV Prime architecture. And since these cars were known to be coming in 2025 for the 2026 model year, there only seemed to be progress and not regress, so to say, in the eyes of most people, so naturally it was assumed the next-gen Corvette should keep the pace running by turning up as all-electric. That is to say, in this case, that the C9 Corvette will not be directly related to the upcoming sedan or SUV in terms of powertrain, as was previously believed to be the case. Besides this fact, the C9, according to report, will continue to be produced at the Bowling Green factory in Kentucky, whereas the new EVs may be built at the GM Lansing Grand River plant in Michigan, so still no relation whatsoever. But could this necessarily be a good thing or a bad thing? Well, if you're not an EV person, then you already have your answer. But how do we even know to be sure there will be a next C8 Corvette, the Zora, to usher in the C9 after the ZR1, when it seems there's basically been no news about it for years? This video has all the answers you need, so go over there right now and I'll see you there.